Captain Kalin navigates his starship, the Star Flare, into an uncharted nebula, facing treacherous alien foes and deadly creatures. Amidst chaos, unlikely alliances form, pushing boundaries of trust and heroism. As ancient secrets emerge, power struggles ignite, revealing dire ethical dilemmas. How far would you go to survive when every choice challenges your core beliefs? If you want to dive into real stories of parallel realities every day, in enigmatic, technological worlds that are completely different from our planet, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Well, let's go. Epic science fiction story. Echoes of the Nebula. Introduction. In a universe where trust can mean survival and betrayal brings untold perils, Captain Kalin's journey aboard the Star Flare through an uncharted nebula will challenge your very understanding of heroism and destiny. As he faces alien adversaries and deadly predators, will the courage of unlikely allies be enough to transcend their doom? Join this exhilarating voyage filled with suspense, mystery, and grand discoveries. Will you uncover the ancient secrets that may hold the key to not only survival but unimaginable power? Chapter 1. Setting the scene and main characters. Captain Kalin, a seasoned spacefarer with an enigmatic past, piloted the Star Flare with a meticulous blend of instinct and calculated skill. His piercing blue eyes monitored the ship's console, charting a course through the dense, iridescent fog of Nebula X9. A nebula unlike any other within known space, it shimmered with an unsettling beauty, comprised of swirling, bioluminescent gases that seemed almost sentient in their movements. The nebula's mystique was only matched by its treachery. Many ships had vanished into its depths, never to be seen again. Beside him, Astra, the ship's sophisticated AI, projected holographic interfaces filled with streams of star maps, energy fluctuations, and spectral analyses. Astra's form shimmered as a delicate, translucent blueprint of a humanoid figure, with projections often shifting to indicate the flow of data. Her voice, calm and cultured, contrasted with the urgency of their situation. "Kalin, we've picked up an unidentified signal. It's closing in at a rapid pace." Barely a moment passed before the Star Flare's cloaked sensors pinged with an alert, revealing an approaching alien vessel of unknown origin. Kalin's heart raced as he processed the data. The alien craft, sleek and angular like a predator on the hunt, was on a direct collision course. Kalin immediately ramped up the shields, his fingers flying over the controls. "Brace yourself, Astra. It looks like we have company." The nebula's iridescent tendrils reached out like ghostly fingers, causing interference with their instruments and adding to the mounting tension. The ensuing moments were a blur of evasive maneuvers and erratic dodges, the Star Flare doing everything it could to avoid a direct hit. The alien ship, however, was relentless, its energy weapons blazing trails through the nebula's fog. As the Star Flare's shields flickered under the strain, Kalin's mind raced with questions about the assailants' intentions. Who were they? What did they want? And most importantly, could he keep his crew, and his ship, intact? Despite Astra's best efforts to optimize shield efficiency and reroute power to critical systems, the alien offensive was overwhelming. Explosions rocked the Star Flare, sending showers of sparks from overloaded circuits while klaxons wailed incessantly. With systems failing and the hull integrity rapidly deteriorating, Kalin made the split-second decision to initiate an emergency crash landing on a nearby planetary body, one shrouded in mystery and seemingly inhospitable. A white-hot flash from their torpedo bay helped create an opening through the nebula's swirling gases, allowing them to veer towards the relatively safer coordinates of the unknown planet. The ship's descent was chaotic. Exterior panels crumpled and scorched under atmospheric re-entry. Kalin wrestled the controls, wrestling with the yoke to steady their course. The gravitational pull of the planet gripped the star flare with merciless force, and they plummeted through thick clouds towards the surface below. The final impact was jarring. The ship skidded, tumbled, and finally came to a grinding halt amid a cloud of dust and debris. Emerging from the wreckage, Kalin took stock of their predicament. Astra, though visually intact due to her holographic nature, reported extensive data corruption and core damage. Systems were offline, supplies were low, and communication with any potential rescue was impossible. The alien craft, having completed its merciless task, had vanished without a trace, leaving Kalin and Astra to contend with their new reality. The planet was a nebulous wilderness, with terrains spanning jagged, volcanic rock formations, bioluminescent flora, and boiling sulfuric springs. The air was thick with an alien scent, tinged with the acrid fumes of volcanic activity. Each step on the strange terrain crunched underfoot, a mosaic of textures and densities unlike anything Kalin had ever encountered. Kalin, a man of sinewy build with a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow, moved with deliberate caution, his senses heightened by the potential for danger. His leather jacket, scorched and tattered from the crash, now served as scant protection against the planet's unpredictable elements. Astra hovered nearby in her intangible form, her normally fluid interface flickering intermittently. As he navigated the landscape, Kalin's survival instincts were on full display. He foraged for anything that could mend the star flare or sustain them until a more permanent solution was found. Along a twisting ravine, he stumbled upon signs of a trail, a formation of oddly symmetrical rock markers that whispered of sentient design. Following the markers, he arrived at a natural cavern, its entrance guarded by bioluminescent moss that pulsed with a serene, otherworldly light. Within the depths of the cavern, Kalin's path was illuminated by the ghostly glow of alien fungi. The air grew colder, the atmosphere denser as he ventured further. There, in the heart of the cave, he found them, 3 beings who were as much a part of this alien world as the caves themselves. The first to notice him was Zellara, a tall, statuesque female with piercing, emerald eyes that glowed in the dim light. Her skin shone with a metallic sheen, reflective and almost liquid in appearance. An aura of authority surrounded her, a strategic mind evident in the way she assessed Kalin with measured scrutiny. Standing beside her was Seraphi, a warrior of imposing strength and stature. His brawny frame was covered in a dense, chitinous armor, with limbs that ended in 3-pronged, vise-like claws. Eyes of a deep, penetrating black watched Kalin with a mix of suspicion and curiosity. His posture, though menacing, was tempered by an underlying code of honor and protection. Then there was Elenia. Her physique was lithe and agile, designed for swift movement. Her skin shifted colors in response to her surroundings, blending seamlessly to the cavern's hues of green and blue. Eyes that shimmered with the brightness of 1,000 stars betrayed a keen intellect and curiosity. Despite her fluid motion and camouflaging abilities, she emitted an undeniable warmth of spirit. Though initially wary of the human intruder, the trio soon recognized the mutual need for cooperation. It was Zellara who first extended an olive branch, a calculated risk meant to probe Kalin's intentions. Kalin, battered Chapter 2. Confrontation and Survival as the star flare hurtled through the nebula. Alarms blared incessantly, their shrill tones vying for Captain Kalin's attention. The vessel shook violently, shuddering with each successive impact from the alien ship's relentless energy blasts. Bright blue and white sparks erupted from the control panels, casting erratic, flickering light across the bridge's dimmed interior. Kalin's mind raced, Every second counted in this frenzied bid to save his ship and crew. Astra, the ship's AI, struggled to maintain operational integrity, patches of her holographic form flickering in and out of existence. Kalin's voice, rough and urgent, barked orders to the remaining functional systems. He expertly executed a series of evasive maneuvers, but it was clear this was a battle they could not win. With systems failing one by one, he had to make a quick, decisive choice. The nebula offered limited visibility, and the alien ship had a technological advantage. Kalin's eyes zeroed in on a nearby planet, the only possible sanctuary in sight. Initiating emergency crash protocols, he shouted to Astra, his fingers moving swiftly over the controls. "Shields at critical, hull breach imminent," Astra replied, her synthetic voice strained by data corruption, a rare note of vulnerability detected within her usually composed demeanor. The star flare descended rapidly, an ungainly plummet through atmospheric layers that buffeted the ship on all sides. The once smooth panels and pristine surfaces of the cockpit now bore the scars of battle, splintered and charred. In a bone-jarring thud, the ship hit the ground, skidding across the alien landscape before coming to a halt in a cloud of swirling dust and debris. Captain Kalin unbuckled himself from his seat, his muscles protesting after the intense and prolonged tension. He scanned the bridge, assessing the damage. Astra's core unit flickered frenetically, a cascade of damaged data fragments flowing across her terminal. His priority was to establish a perimeter and secure his surroundings. Emerging from the wreckage of the star flare, Kalin found himself in a world unlike any he had seen before. Towering trees with bioluminescent foliage stretched towards the sky, casting an eerie, beautiful glow over the dense jungle. The air was thick with the scent of foreign vegetation, a heady mix of sweet and acrid aromas that infiltrated his senses. Around him, the ruins of an ancient civilization jutted out amid the undergrowth, massive stone edifices adorned with strange, unreadable glyphs. Drawing his blaster, Kalin cautiously ventured away from the safety of the ship, keeping an eye out for any signs of intelligent life or dangerous predators. The dense jungle pressed in on all sides, the occasional rustling suggesting unseen threats lurking just beyond his line of sight. It wasn't long before he encountered the first of the planet's inhabitants. Zellara emerged from the shadow of a massive tree, her piercing blue eyes assessing him with a mix of curiosity and caution. She was tall and slender, with elongated limbs that hinted at a species adapted to this planet's dense, vertical environment. Her skin was a deep, silvery hue, reflecting the bioluminescent forest around her. Following Zellara closely was Seraphi, a towering figure whose sheer presence was intimidating. With broad shoulders and a formidable muscular build, Seraphi moved with the grace of a seasoned warrior. His amber eyes held a fierce intensity, and his stance spoke of endless battles fought and won. Lastly, Elenia appeared, darting gracefully from one shadow to the next. Her agility was almost feline, each movement precise and calculated. Smaller in stature compared to Zellara and Seraphi, Elenia's presence was no less commanding. Her dark hair flowed behind her as she moved, and her gaze was sharp and penetrating. The three aliens, though initially appearing hostile, showed no immediate signs of aggression. Instead, they seemed equally interested in Kalin, suggesting that this was as much a strategic encounter for them as it was for him. "I am Captain Kalin of the Star Flare," he began, his voice steady though his heart raced with adrenaline. "We mean no harm. Our ship crash landed here." Zellara nodded subtly, her eyes narrowing as she processed his words. "We have seen ships fall from the sky before," she replied, her voice melodic yet edged with steel. "Few survive." As they stood in an uneasy truce, The air around them seemed to vibrate with tension. Each word spoken, each gesture made, was weighed with layers of meaning and consequence. Circumstances were dire, and mutual survival hung on the thin thread of trust they could establish. Guided by necessity, the preliminary overtures of an alliance began to form. Zellara, Seraphi, and Elenia each brought unique skills and perspectives, critical in navigating the perilous environment that surrounded them. Zellara's strategic mind was quick to map out their immediate terrain, identifying potential threats and safe zones. Seraphi's strength proved invaluable when clearing paths through the dense undergrowth or constructing shelters. Elenia's agility and sharp reflexes meant that she could scout ahead, providing crucial advanced warnings about any hostile creatures or treacherous obstacles. Time passed in a blur of activity as the group adapted to their new circumstances. They established a rhythm, an unspoken understanding of each other's strengths and limits. Kalin's expertise in technology came to the fore, with him working tirelessly to repair Astra, whose AI core was now critical to their plans for survival and possible escape. He labored over her damaged circuitry, using makeshift tools fashioned from the wreckage of the star flare and resources scavenged from their surroundings. One night, as they huddled around a fire, the flickering flames casting long shadows on the ancient ruins that loomed over them, stories were shared. Kalin learned that Zellara came from a race of explorers who had once traversed the galaxy, seeking to understand and chronicle other civilizations. Her people's knowledge of strategy came not only from military necessity but from countless cultural interactions across the cosmos. Seraphi's people, on the other hand, were warriors bound by a strict code of honor, their society built on the principles of strength and resilience. Elenia's background was more enigmatic, with hints of a past shrouded in secrecy and filled with skills honed through stealth and espionage. The nights were often interrupted by the sounds of the planet's nocturnal creatures. Strange howls and the rustling of leaves became a constant reminder of the dangers that lurked in the darkness. But in these moments of vulnerability, the group's bonds grew stronger, forged in the fire of shared adversity. One evening, Kalin and Zellara ventured closer to the ancient ruins, hoping to find something that might aid in their survival. The ruins were a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, each room echoing with the ghosts of a bygone era. The walls were adorned with intricate carvings * Chapter 3. Exploration and Unveiling Mysteries *. The air was thick with a mix of humidity and an unfamiliar metallic tang as Kalin and his companions ventured deeper into the alien landscape. The foliage around them buzzed with life, strange, luminescent flora with tendrils that swayed rhythmically as if dancing to an unseen melody, and fauna that darted in and out of shadows, their eyes glinting with curiosity or perhaps malevolence. Every step carried the weight of uncertainty, a reminder that their survival hung by a delicate thread. Zellara, the alien strategist with her piercing crystalline eyes and thin, sinuous body covered in iridescent scales, led the way. Her sharp instincts and tactical mind were crucial in navigating the labyrinthine paths of the unknown world. Seraphi, the towering warrior with muscles like coiled steel and an unwavering gaze, brought up the rear, ever vigilant and ready to confront any threat that emerged from the shadows. Elenia, whose lithe frame and quick reflexes allowed her to move with almost supernatural grace, scouted ahead, her senses attuned to the subtle shifts in the environment. Kalin felt a growing sense of camaraderie with his companions as they shared small victories and moments of vulnerability. They crossed a rapid river by constructing a makeshift bridge from fallen tree trunks and vines, a task that required trust and collaboration. The bond between them deepened with each passing hour, transforming from a fragile alliance into something stronger, more resilient. As they marched onward, the dense jungle began to give way to rocky terrain. Massive stone structures, half buried and covered in verdant growth, loomed in the distance, hinting at the presence of an ancient civilization. The team's excitement was palpable as they approached the ruins of what appeared to be an ancient alien base. The architecture was unlike anything Kalin had ever seen, consisting of intricate carvings and patterns that glowed faintly with an internal light, defying the ravages of time. Astra, having recovered partially from her earlier damage, flickered to life, her holographic presence offering insights and guidance. She deciphered some of the alien scripts etched into the stone, translating them into fragments of information that hinted at advanced technology and possible escape routes. However, Astra's incomplete data only deepened the mystery surrounding the ruins. Inside the ancient base, the air grew cooler, and the light took on an ethereal quality, reflecting off the crystal-like walls with an otherworldly glow. The base's core chamber housed an array of alien machinery, interwoven with vines and roots that had crept into the ancient structure over eons. Control panels and holographic interfaces, their purposes obscured by the passage of time, awaited activation. Seraphi approached one of the main consoles with cautious reverence. His strong hands, more accustomed to wielding weapons than delicately manipulating delicate controls, hovered uncertainly over the interface. Kalin observed as Zellara stepped in, her fingers deftly running over the panel, attempting to discern the correct sequence to awaken the dormant technology. As they worked, Elenia stood guard, her keen eyes scanning the room for any signs of threat. The tension was palpable, the sound of their breathing magnified in the stillness of the chamber. Despite their progress, a feeling of unease permeated the air, a whisper of foreboding that something powerful and unknown lay beneath the surface of their discoveries. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and a low hum began to emanate from the depths of the base. The alien machinery flickered to life, casting pulsing shadows that danced on the walls. Astra's voice, tinged with both excitement and caution, echoed through the chamber. Systems are activating. Proceed with care. As the technology powered up, an ancient holographic projection flickered into existence, depicting celestial maps and data streams that stretched across the room. Kalin and his team marveled at the sight, their minds racing to comprehend the possibilities. The star maps depicted routes and coordinates to unknown regions of the galaxy, suggesting that the base once served as a hub for interstellar travel. Among the projections, an enigmatic symbol caught Kalin's eye, a series of concentric circles intertwined with angular lines. What does it mean? He wondered aloud, his curiosity piqued. Astra hesitated before responding. It appears to be a representation of an ancient energy source, one that could provide immense power if harnessed correctly. The revelation was both exhilarating and daunting. The notion of tapping into such a potent energy source offered a potential solution to their stranded predicament but also carried the risk of unintended consequences. The ethical dilemma of whether to pursue this power weighed heavily on Kalin's conscience. Before they could ponder further, a sudden crash resounded from outside the chamber, followed by guttural roars that reverberated through the ruins. The ground beneath them shuddered as alien creatures, drawn by the activation of the base, breached the outer defenses. The team exchanged grave looks, understanding that their discoveries had made them targets. Seraphi tightened his grip on his weapon, his stance poised for combat. "We must protect the core," he growled, determination etched across his face. Zellara nodded, quickly sealing off entrances to buy them time, while Elenia moved with feline agility, positioning herself in a vantage point to provide cover fire. The ensuing battle was a ferocious clash of wills and survival instincts. Alien predators, their forms grotesque and menacing, poured into the chamber, their claws and fangs gleaming under the flickering light. Kalin fought alongside his companions, every strike and counterstrike a symphony of desperation and resolve. As the fight raged on, the base's ancient defenses began to falter. Protective barriers flickered and faded, leaving the team exposed. Yet, in the chaos, moments of unparalleled bravery shone through. Zellara used her strategic prowess to outmaneuver the creatures, creating openings for Sci-Fi's devastatingly powerful strikes. Elenia's agility allowed her to dart in and out of the fray, dealing swift, precise blows that turned the tide in their favor. In the midst of battle, Kalin's mind raced. The resilience and unity of his team were testament to their strength, but the larger ethical question loomed. Was it right to harness the alien power they had uncovered? The technology held promise, yet the risk it posed to the natural balance and potential for misuse could not be ignored. As the last of the alien predators fell, the silence that followed was almost deafening. Bloodied and bruised, the team regrouped, their breaths ragged but triumphant. The ancient base, now fully operational, pulsed with a steady, rhythmic energy, casting a warm glow over the scene of their victory. The juxtaposition of their recent battle and the serene, almost reverent hum of the alien technology created a surreal atmosphere. Kalin's thoughts churned as he considered the implications of the power at their disposal. The decision to use it weighed heavily on him, a choice that could alter the course of their journey and Chapter 4. Climactic confrontation The ancient base loomed before them, an eerie monument to an era long past. It stretched across the alien landscape, a labyrinth of corridors and chambers imbued with a haunting ambiance. Cold, metallic structures whispered secrets of advanced civilizations, now reduced to silent echoes within their walls. Sci-Fi's fingers danced over the cryptic control panels, his muscle memory guiding him through the complex interface. The technology thrummed beneath his touch, a sleeping beast awakening. With Astra's assistance, now partially functional, the intricacies of the alien technology began to unfurl. She projected holographic schematics, augmenting the group's efforts to decipher the ancient scripts. Each member contributed uniquely to the mission. Kalin's strategic insight, Zellara's keen intellect, Elenia's agility in navigating perilous environments, and Sci-Fi's exceptional strength and technical acumen. As they delved deeper into the ancient database, fragmentary records revealed glimpses of a once mighty civilization, feared and revered across the cosmos. However, their success came at a cost. The activation of the base's systems alerted myriad dangers lurking within the planet's shadows. With sections of the facility brought to life, residual defense mechanisms re-energized, and the ancient base became a battleground. Suddenly, the base's dormant defense mechanisms roared to life, turret-like constructs emerging from walls and ceilings. Beams of energy and plasma bolts discharged mercilessly. Kalin's instincts kicked in, directing the team to strategic cover positions while they retaliated with all available weaponry. The defensive measures were relentless, an unceasing rain of destruction meant to guard the enigmatic secrets they sought. "Find the core controls," Kalin shouted, his voice barely cutting through the cacophony of battle. Zellara's calculated precision identified a faint path on Astra's holograph. With Elenia's nimbleness, she darted through the gauntlet of automated defenses, heading towards what appeared to be the main controls. Serafi, muscles taut with the effort, held his ground against a barrage of defenses. His combat prowess was on full display as he nullified threats and protected his comrades. The stench of charred metal and the acrid tang of plasma filled the air, mingling with the distant roars of alien creatures converging on the disturbed base. Astra's analytical capabilities guided Kalin to a power conduit, an integral line feeding the base's core defenses. He knew disabling it could provide a momentary reprieve. With a steady hand, he rigged an improvisational EMP charge. Time was of the essence. The energy of the struggle was palpable, the tension electrifying. The EMP discharged with a crackling force, and an instant hush fell over the hostile defenses. The team seized the fleeting opportunity to advance. But amidst the calm, a more sinister threat made itself known. Beasts, with gleaming eyes and razor-sharp maws, surged from the base's dark recesses. They were creatures adapted to the depths and shadows, their sinew and bone perfectly evolved to hunt in these very halls. They moved with terrifying efficiency, attacking in coordinated packs, each one a deadly opponent on its own. Kalin's tactical acumen shone as he orchestrated the defense, forming a phalanx with Seraphi at the fore, serving as both bulwark and battering ram. Plasma fire danced around them, every shot a desperate bid for survival. Zelara's keen eyes tracked movement, her own blaster making precise, lethal strikes. Above, Elenia reached the core control room. Its door was an imposing barrier, guarded by intricate locking mechanisms of ancient design. Astra fed her rapid decryption sequences, but the alien technology resisted with a mind of its own. Time ebbed away as the beasts closed in on their friends below. Elenia's fingers flew across the interface with ever-increasing urgency, each second a heart-pounding race against the onslaught. She bypassed circuits, overrode protocols, and finally, with a resonant click, the ancient door yielded. She stepped inside to behold a room dimly lit with the glow of arcane machinery. Holograms flickered to life, revealing the base's last operational systems. A massive conduit leading deep beneath the base, shrouded in mystery. The battle below reached a fever pitch. Blood, sweat, and metal mingled in a desperate tableau of survival. Kalin felt the sting of each near miss, Zelara's sharp commands cutting through the chaos. Every life they took weighed heavily, the gravity of their predicament serving as a grim reminder of mortality's ever-present specter. Desperation surged as beasts breached their perimeter. Seraphi's every move was a calculated act of heroism, his powerful frame acting as a bulwark against annihilation. As the team fought, mere seconds felt like eternities under the oppressive threat. Elenia initiated the core access protocols, leveraging Astra's guidance. The ancient machinery began to awaken fully, casting the control room in an ethereal glow. A tremor ran through the base as dormant systems reactivated, sending shockwaves across the facility. A deep, resonant hum built through the walls, growing louder with each passing moment. Below, the tide turned imperceptibly. The awakened base exerted a magnetic influence, drawing the alien creatures into a frenzied disarray. Electrical currents surged and pulsed through the corridors, a chaotic symphony orchestrated by ages-old programming. Kalin seized upon this sudden advantage, rallying his team to push back decisively. The electromagnetic fields grew intense, drawing the alien creatures into a disoriented frenzy, creating openings for the team to strike with surgical precision. In an act of spectacular bravery, Seraphi charged a particularly menacing creature, subduing it with a ferocity that spoke of desperation and compassion intertwined. Zelara, eyes sharp and determined, unleashed calculated bursts from her blaster, neutralizing threats and guiding the group towards a defensively strategic position. The crescendo of combat reached its peak, an orchestrated chaos where every member's skills coalesced into a seamless dance of survival. Elenia completed the final steps of the activation sequence, the room's machinery lighting up in an intricate dance of energy. She watched, mesmerized, as conduits glowed and ancient patterns illuminated. The alien base groaned, its ancient secrets brought to life after eons of dormancy. The energy from the core surged through the facility, illuminating the base with a blinding brilliance. In that moment, the clashing rhythms of the battlefield quieted. The creatures, realizing the overpowering energy, retreated into the shadows they came from. The relentless defenses powered down, the deadly beams and plasma bolts dissipating into silence. Kalin, bruised but resilient, took a moment to assess the situation. His team, though battered, stood firm, their resolve unbroken. Astra's projections confirmed. The core was theirs, their lifeline back to the stars. Yet, this brief respite was fleeting. In the depths of the Chapter 5. Epic Resolution and Life Lessons * Echoes of the Nebula * The atmosphere in the alien base was charged with tension and anticipation. The intricately designed walls, pulsating with an otherworldly luminescence, seemed to come to life as the ancient technology stirred from its long dormancy. Seraphi, with beads of sweat tracing intricate patterns on her rugged brow, continued to manipulate the holographic interface with her characteristic diligence. Each touch, each adjustment, brought them one step closer to unlocking the secrets that might hold the key to their freedom. Amidst the hum of the machinery, Kalin's thoughts drifted back to the harrowing moments when they had first crash-landed on this enigmatic planet. The alien landscape, so hostile and unfamiliar, had initially seemed a death sentence. But now, as they stood at the threshold of potential salvation, he felt a swell of pride and gratitude towards his newfound companions. Zellara was tirelessly scanning ancient scripts, her piercing eyes reflecting the cascading data. Her strategic mind deciphered complex equations and linguistic patterns, translating eons-old wisdom into actionable knowledge. The room was filled with a tangible sense of accomplishment, yet an undercurrent of apprehension remained. They were acutely aware that this was only the beginning of their ordeal. Elenia, with her unparalleled agility, deftly evaded the remaining defensive mechanisms that occasionally sprung to life, ancient guardians of a forgotten era. Her movements were a ballet of grace and efficiency, a testament to her training and endurance. Moments of respite allowed her to assist Seraphi, her quick reflexes ensuring that every vital connection was made with precision. As the ancient console emitted a series of melodic chimes, the base's technology began to hum rhythmically, indicating that the energy flow was stabilizing. Relief and euphoria painted their faces as the once dormant systems burst into a symphony of lights. The ground beneath their feet subtly vibrated as dormant power conduits reactivated throughout the structure, a lifeline awakening from millennia-long slumber. Kalin couldn't help but marvel at the grandeur of the base's architecture. The towering columns adorned with intricate carvings told tales of civilizations long forgotten. Symbols of a culture steeped in technology and mysticism beckoned them deeper into the labyrinthine structure. They knew the structure held unfathomable knowledge and capabilities, but its grandeur also hinted at untold dangers lurking within. As the primary interface glowed a vibrant blue, Seraphi's voice, tinged with triumph, broke the silence. "We did it. The energy cores are stabilizing. Initiating full system reboot." With a rush of air, the main chamber illuminated in a brilliant cascade of colors, revealing an imposing central console that now thrummed with life. A series of holographic displays materialized above it, showcasing star maps, schematics, and what appeared to be a directory of ancient archives. Zellara's eyes widened as she tapped into one of the holographic displays. These schematics. They outline an interstellar propulsion system far beyond our current understanding. If we can implement just a fraction of this technology to the star flare, we could surpass the speed of light itself. Elenia, ever vigilant, scanned the perimeter. Despite their success, An inexplicable sense of foreboding gnawed at her instincts. We need to move quickly. This place may have given us what we needed, but it could still pose threats we haven't yet anticipated. Amidst the unfolding wonder, Astra, the ship's intelligent AI, whom they thought critically damaged, flickered back to life on a portable interface Kalin carried. Her synthetic voice was soothing yet authoritative. "Captain Kalin, I am detecting residual energy signatures, potentially the base's automated defenses or something more ancient, stirring at the fringes of this revival." The group's excitement tempered with caution. They had brought life back to the ancient base, but in doing so, they had awakened more than just dormant technology. The tales etched into the walls reminded them that the original inhabitants were a race adept in both technological marvels and arcane defense mechanisms. Sci-Fi's hands danced over the console as she initiated the data transfer to the Starflare. "We don't have much time. We need to extract whatever data we can and retrofit the ship with this technology." Elenia's keen senses picked up faint vibrations, the kind that precede significant shifts in energy. "We're not alone. Something is coming." Their euphoria was cut short as the base's intricate defense systems, previously inactive, engaged. Deep, resonant tones echoed through the cavernous hallways, heralding the approach of ancient guardians. Massive constructs, seemingly assembled from metal and energy, emerged from shadowed alcoves, their presence a stark reminder of the planet's erstwhile protectors. Kalin's voice steeled with resolve. "Guardians. We fend them off long enough to complete our mission." The ensuing confrontation was a cinematic clash of raw power, tactical brilliance, and sheer will. Zellara used her strategic prowess to outmaneuver the Guardians, guiding her allies through a lethal dance of evasion and counterattack. Sci-Fi's strength turned defensive barriers into offensive weapons, channeling the energy of the base itself to create shields and blast fortifications. Elenia, a blur of movement, took calculated risks, exploiting every opening to disable or divert the mechanical behemoths. Astra's voice resonated through the chaotic melee, guiding Kalin and his team with precision. Incoming left. Energy spike at Quadrant 4. With no room for error, each member played their part to perfection. They knew that their survival hinged on more than just brute force. It was their unity, their shared resolve, that would see them through. Minutes felt like hours, but finally, the attackers' numbers dwindled. The Guardians, formidable though they were, could not withstand the collective ingenuity and resolve of Kalin and his companions. As the last of the constructs crumbled into disarray, Seraphi announced, breathlessly, "Data transfer complete. We have what we need." The air was thick with the acrid scent of battle and the underlying current of victory. Bruised and exhausted, but with spirits unbroken, they made their way back to the Starflare. Each step carried the weight of their struggles but also the promise of newfound hope. In the shadow of the now silent base, the Starflare stood as a testament to their resilience. Panels and conduits, retrofitted with alien technology, gleamed under the ambient light. Zellara, overseeing the final calibrations, looked up at Kalin, her eyes reflecting a blend of exhaustion and satisfaction. "We're ready." Kalin's gaze swept over his team, his friends. Each face bore the marks of their ordeal, but their eyes shone with unwavering determination. "Let's get off this rock." As they prepared for liftoff, the base's resurgence beaconed, casting a radiant glow into the heavens. A signal of the triumphs. And if you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.